What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Camcross Comics, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know I am, because Daredevil Born Again releases in 1 week, and I could not be more excited. I absolutely adore the original Daredevil show, and I'm so excited that we're getting the characters back. We're getting some new stories told around them, and it's all around definitely going to be a good time. But like I did with Captain America, it's clear that there are a lot of comics and storylines that they're pulling from. So I wanted to take the time to give you guys specific comic recommendations so you can be prepared for some of the events that we could see in Daredevil Born Again, whether it be Matt himself, Fisk, or the brand new character in the show, Muse. There's a lot to talk about, so let's dive into it. So, the first thing I want to recommend, or actually the first thing I want to get out of the way, is the actual book itself, Daredevil Born Again. This book is not one I will be recommending because Born Again, the story from the comics, was adapted in season 3 of the show. Now, why call the new show Born Again? All it is a reference to the comic and a fact that Daredevil is coming back. So they just picked the name from this iconic story. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to get prepared for the Born Again series, because I don't think they're going to be really pulling anything from here. But if you do want a good story overall, this book is fantastic. It's Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli, an all-star team together. There's a reason this book is as iconic as it is. So Daredevil Born Again is a high recommend from me, generally, but if you don't have the time to read all these comics, don't feel like this is one you have to read before the show, because this is what inspired season 3 of the show. Now, let's get into the actual recommendations. The first thing I want to recommend is Daredevil 2015, the run from 2015 specifically, but only issues 1 through 15 of that run. Now, that is because this is the story that really introduces and shows off who Muse is. Muse will, of course, be one of the main villains in Daredevil Born Again. And his design is absolutely perfect and one of the most accurately portrayed transitions from page to screen, so I love to see that. But Muse is also a very fascinating character and a very brutal one that I'm very curious to see portrayed in the MCU. But he is great, and the story around him is great, and it's a really fun side of Matt to see, and it's a really great story overall. So I would definitely recommend issues 1 through 15. That really gets you going on the Muse side of things, and how Daredevil and Muse interact, and what Muse does, and what he's all about, which we are definitely seeing in Born Again. So I would definitely recommend these issues specifically. They're great. I have read all of what I'm going to recommend to you here. This probably gets the highest of recommendations from me out of this entire video. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The next thing I want to recommend is Daredevil, also from the 2015 run, but this is where they go into the legacy issues. This is by Charles Soule, and it is issues 595 to 600 of that run, and thankfully it was just compiled into a trade paperback this month, and as of when this video is coming out, as of this month, February, the show doesn't come out till March, it is titled the Mayor Fisk arc. I picked up the trade paperback myself. Highly recommend this, especially because it was just transformed into this trade paperback, so it's even easier to find the issues for now. All of these books do have trade paperback versions, but they are also on Marvel Unlimited if you have a Marvel Unlimited subscription like I do. That's how I read a lot of comics, even though I do read mostly physically. But if I want to read some backlog stuff, I do go to Marvel Unlimited. This will be on Marvel Unlimited, but it also is on a trade paperback if you prefer physical as well. Just wanted to get that out there. But anyway, this arc is also very, very important. Might be more important than the Muse stuff, just based on what Born Again looks to be, but I would still more recommend the Muse stuff just because I thought that was better. But this was fantastic as well. Charles Soule is one of my favorite Daredevil writers. I would put him up there with Chip Zdarsky and Frank Miller. But this book, just like in the name, is about Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, being the mayor and what that entails for him, what that entails for Daredevil, and what that entails for superheroes all around New York City. That is obviously a big part of the Born Again show, with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin becoming mayor of New York. So this is definitely a good book to recommend. Muse is also in this book as well. He comes back, so Daredevil has to deal with him alongside the Mayor Fisk stuff. This is a great book to read as a follow-up to issues 1 to 15 of the Daredevil 2015 run. There is some stuff that happens in between those 15 issues and this storyline, such as Matt Murdock becoming the mayor after Kingpin, because this takes place a bit after the, or am I mixing it up? I think I might be mixing this up with another run. I could be, but I don't think I am. But anyway, this book definitely gets the highest of recommend. I've been reading a lot of Daredevil, so my brain can be a bit all over the place with what happens when. But this, high recommend. Muse is in it. Muse is awesome. Kingpin's in it. Kingpin's awesome. He's mayor. That's awesome. We get to see some great sides of Matt. There's some great artwork all around. This book gets the highest of recommendations, and I'm ready to move on to the final recommendation of the video. So the final thing I want to recommend is the Daredevil 2019 run. Not specific issues, the run as a whole, issues 1 through 36. So all things considered, it's not a incredibly long run. It is a bit chunky, and it does take some time to get through, but it is worth it. It is by Chip Zdarsky, I believe. I believe it's Chip Zdarsky's run, which is absolutely fantastic. Zdarsky is, like I said, probably my favorite Daredevil writer that we've ever gotten. This is just a really good Daredevil comic. It is really great to read. There's a lot of stuff at play, like his dynamic with the Punisher happens early on in the run, which obviously we're going to see again in Daredevil Born Again, and the character Cole North is introduced in this run as well, and he will have a presence in Daredevil Born Again. So I would say this is a really fun one to read. Definitely not required reading, but I thought I would throw it on here because it is fantastic as well. So, those are all the recommendations I have before you watch Daredevil Born Again on March 4th, with the first 2 episodes premiering at 9 p.m. Eastern. I cannot wait for the show. If you've read any of these comics, or if you have read any of these comics, or if I've just been able to help you out at all by giving you some recommendations, be sure to let me know down below in the comments, not the comics. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And thank you all so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to cover Daredevil Born Again alongside you all. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Adios!